All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to unpack the story of Goju-Ryu, one of the most influential styles of karate out there. But this isn't just a story about punches and kicks. It's really a deep dive into a philosophical quest for perfect balance.
Everything, and I mean everything, really starts with this one line from an ancient Chinese martial arts text called the Bubishi. This idea of duality, of hard and soft, push and pull, it's at the very heart of everything. It's in nature, it's in the way we breathe, and as we're about to see, it's the soul of an incredibly powerful fighting art. So that begs the question, right? How does a beautiful piece of philosophy like that actually become a physical reality, something that's practiced by millions of people all over the globe? Well, the answer to that begins on a small island in the East China Sea. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to go back in time to the early 20th century, to Okinawa. This place was a real crossroads of culture, where local fighting traditions were about to get a major upgrade from some ancient Chinese wisdom. You know, before all the fancy names and styles we know today, the fighting arts in Okinawa were just called te, which literally just means hand. Super simple. They were these practical, no-nonsense systems that were different from town to town, kind of like local dialects. Now, one of the most famous of these was Naha-te, the Hand of Naha. And because Naha was this busy port town, its fighting style got a heavy dose of Fujian white crane kung fu, which came over with Chinese traders. And you're gonna want to remember that connection to China. It's absolutely key to where this is all going. So who's the guy who starts putting all these pieces together? That would be the legendary master Kanryo Higaonna. This man was an absolute powerhouse, known for his intense training that really hammered home the hard, powerful side of the art. And this is where our main character, the man himself, enters the picture. Higaonna's star pupil was this incredibly dedicated young man, Chojun Miyagi. Now, Miyagi mastered all the powerful, hard-hitting forms his teacher taught him, but deep down, he had this feeling that a piece of the puzzle was still missing. See, for Miyagi, pure brute force just wasn't the whole story. He knew there had to be something more, so he set off on a journey, not just across the sea, but into the very philosophy of his art, to find the other half. So after his master passed away, Miyagi knew what he had to do. He went straight to the source to really understand things on a deeper level. He traveled all the way to Fuzhou, China, the very birthplace of the white crane systems that were the foundation of his training. And in China, boom. His whole world just kind of shifted. He started to see the martial arts not as one single thing, but as a balance of two opposing but complementary principles. Go, which is the hard, and Ju, the soft. Go was that direct, linear power he knew so well, the hard strikes. But Ju, that was new. That was about yielding, about circular blocks, and about building up your internal energy. And get this, he wasn't just dipping his toes in one pool. He went all in, studying both the hard, linear, external styles linked to Shaolin and the soft, flowing, circular arts like Pagua. He was literally building a bridge between two worlds that seemed like total opposites. So Miyagi comes back to Okinawa with this incredible, game-changing idea. But the craziest part? It took a totally random event, hundreds of miles from home, to finally give this new vision a name. Picture this. It's 1929. Miyagi's top student is in mainland Japan, about to put on a demonstration of their totally unique style for the country's martial arts elite. This single performance would change the course of karate history. So his best student, Jinan Shinzato, is putting on this amazing show. He's just incredible. But then some big shot official comes up and asks him, "Hey, what's the name of your style?" And Shinzato just freezes. He's got no answer. It had never actually needed a name before. So he goes back to Okinawa, tells Miyagi what happened, and Miyagi thinks about his long journey, and the answer comes to him, right from that old book, the Bubishi. He puts the two ideas together, Go and Ju, and just like that, Goju-Ryu, the hard soft style, was born. And this wasn't just some name he pulled out of a hat. No way. It was a direct line back to that ancient philosophy that had guided his entire life's work. It was the perfect word for everything he had been building. The name comes from these 8 precepts of Kempo in the Bubishi. They're these beautiful, poetic guides for a martial artist. They talk about being one with nature, about timing, about always being aware. But it's that third one that was the real light bulb moment. The way of inhaling and exhaling is hardness and softness.
And Miyagi realized, that's it. The simple act of breathing is the perfect metaphor for his art. Sometimes you're hard, like an exhalation, and sometimes you're soft, like an inhalation. All right, so now it has a name. It has a deep philosophy. Goju-Ryu was finally ready for the spotlight, and it was about to take its place on the world stage. You can see the whole journey right here. Miyagi's trip to China, that critical demonstration in '29, the official registration. But you also see the heartbreak, the tragic loss of Jinan Shinzato during the war, the very student whose moment of confusion gave the style its name. Now, this registration in 1933, this was a huge deal. The Dai Nippon Butokai was the official governing body for martial arts in Japan. This meant Goju-Ryu wasn't just seen as some regional Okinawan thing anymore. It was now officially recognized as a Japanese martial way, or Budo. And that's really the legacy we see today, isn't it? Goju-Ryu teaches you how to be a rock when you need to be, absorbing an attack, but also how to be like water when you have to be, flowing right around it. That is the essence of hard and soft. But in the end, Miyagi left his students with something even more powerful. He taught them that the techniques, the power, the perfect balance, none of it means a thing if you lose track of your character. That soft part of the art isn't just about technique. It's about having compassion, about your humanity. And that really brings it all back to us, doesn't it? This whole philosophy of go and chew, hard and soft, it doesn't just live in the dojo. Think about it. When does your life demand that you be firm, unyielding, and strong? And when does it call for you to be flexible, to adapt, and to yield? The way of hard and soft, in the end, is really the way of life itself.